Good morning, Brooklyn. There's two of you. How was your weekend?
It was good. How was yours?
It was good. It was pretty quiet. Pretty quiet. Just a lot of rain. Good morning, Brooklyn. Two of you. Did you get to go to the movies this weekend?
No, I haven't gone yet.
Mm.
But there's a
What's
new movie
out?
that I'm gonna go see.
What
In
is it?
October. It's called Passenger. It comes out next month. It's a horror movie. And it looks fairly creepy. So I'm a little scared. But I love horror movies.
Is it about planes, airplanes?
I don't know. I just know in the trailer somebody got possessed by something and then dumped in his car and chased him home.
Okay. That's where passenger comes in. I get it. I don't know. We're horror movies. But if that's what you like, that's all right. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of what other new movies are out. I just came from the movie theater last week, one day last week. Is there anything else? Oh, isn't there a new like Toy Story, or did they re-release Toy Story? I think that's what I saw. And some kind of manga thing. Are you into that manga?
Since there's a Toy Story coming out in June.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. There's also some kind of manga thing with like Yoda or some Yoda looking creature. Anyway, I'm glad you had a good weekend. So have you started counting your days yet?
I did the other day and then I forgot.
I think you guys have, well, there's like 12 or 13. That's for Spanish, but generally speaking, I didn't count them all. But yeah. Good morning, Arshad. How are you today? Let's see. Do they have, I can't find any of your senior stuff in the dashboard. What's your guys' next thing for seniors? Your next senior event?
That's a good question. I forgot myself. Let me check the senior calendar thing.
Yeah, I can't find the senior calendar either. But you guys have a lot coming up, right?
Mm-hmm. I know we have a senior dinner coming up, but I forgot the date. I wrote it down somewhere and I forgot where I wrote it at.
Let's see if it's in here. Okay, senior dinner, Tuesday, May 5th.
Yeah.
But you have to pay by, well, last Friday, the 24th. If you wanted to
Yeah,
go.
that's if you didn't pay for your senior dues. But if you pay for that, then you should be fine.
Okay. And then there's your final exam for seniors. Also starts May 4th. That's all I see for seniors so far.
Wait, what final exam? I didn't see that.
It's in the bulletin board. Go to your dashboard in Canvas. I'll put it up here so y'all can see. See right here, Brooke. It's in the dashboard bulletin board. right? But weren't there some mandatory things that you guys were supposed to do? Did you find it, Brooke?
Yes, I found it. It was up early, but I exiled it and didn't read it
Okay.
yet.
All right. I'm trying to find the rest of your senior things. Give me a minute. Let's see. Yeah. So graduation is hold on. Hold on. I have it written down here.
I think it's
So it
either May
says your
19th or May 23rd.
it says your grades are so your finals are the week of the 4th. And then Arshad, I don't know if you can hear me. And then teachers have to have your grades in by the 13th.
May 4th. Isn't May 4th next week?
Uh-huh.
Ugh, I hate this new phone update. I can't find anything.
There was a thing. Let me double check.
Let me take a screenshot.
Since you're both seniors,
Let me take a picture.
414 faculty calendar. Hold on.
These exams we're still doing through Zoom, right? Or we have to go like in person?
Where?
For the senior final exams? We're still doing these like from Zoom, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they'd just be in your classes.
Okay.
Um,
Are you doing for your class?
no, we are not. We're just gonna finish our work. We're not gonna do one.
Okay.
But there was a thing that you guys needed to probably see. Let me hold on. I just wanted to remind you. Oh, okay, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Let me pull it up here. Okay. This is teacher stuff, but here you go. Archad. So May 5th is your senior dinner. Okay. May 15th is your first graduation practice. May 18th is your second graduation practice. May 19th is LVA graduation. And then there was something about how like some of you there's some, I know that some people don't do the LVA graduation, they just do their home zone school graduation. I don't know if that applies to you guys, but there was something that was mandatory, even if you're only gonna graduate through your home zone school. Do you remember that? I'll try to find out again. And the newsletter. I know. Okay, hold on. One more thing. Okay. April. Okay, did you guys do the meetings, the graduation meetings?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why did it get so hot?
How do I get to May on this thing? That's what I want. I want May, not more May, please. All right, here's May. Here's what we got happening in May.
Mhm.
Our side. And all right, so and you
Okay.
have your eighth grade celebration, graduation practices, the end of year bash. I don't know. That's it. That's what I got. So do you have all those things?
Yes. I'm gonna take a picture just in case, because I might be lying. I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay. I just remember them saying there was one thing that you had to do, even if you weren't doing the LVA graduation. And I can't remember now what that was. And I thought I wrote it down, but I guess I didn't. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. And, all right. So are we ready to start? Arshad, you ready today? All right, here we go. Behind me. Which African country has Spanish as an official language? Here's the clue right here where the little GPS thing is. Which African country has Spanish as an official language? So can you guess which African country this is? It's a little bitty one, this little dot right there. Any guesses? No? So it's called, I'll type it in the chat. It's called Equatorial Guinea. Okay. Equatorial Guinea. So it has Spanish as an official language. Spain, just to give you a context, the country of Spain is about right here where my finger is. Okay. And so, when they were colonizing, that was an easy stop for them. So that's how come Spanish is an official language for them. Okay. So what are we doing today, you guys? Again, it's the two of you. I guess they're taking their biology test today. Here's what I had. I thought there were going to be all four of us today, but apparently not. So, guacala, which is our word for wow in Spanish, we are going to finish our unidad ocho. And then I want us to begin our very last unit that I think is important for you guys. Okay. So, if you plan on going to college, right? Oftentimes your college requires some kind of like either a foreign language as a graduation requirement or some kind of like elective courses. Okay. And so since you've already had some Spanish, it's actually an easy, if you have to take an elective course, it's actually an easy thing to do. Okay. Since you've already had your Spanish. So there's one more like verb tense that I want before you graduate, so that should you ever need to take Spanish as an elective course in college or something, that you would at least, recognize it. Okay. So that's the plan that we have for today, right? All right. So correct me. We're going to do a little reading thing. Okay. So what I need for us, and this is how we're going to finish Unidad Ocho. Okay. So I need everybody to get into the virtual textbook, the VHL virtual textbook, and go to Unit 8. And way down here at the bottom, okay, at the bottom of, Brooke, if you can see my screen, Arshad, if you can see my screen, come down here to the very bottom, it says todo junto. Todo junto. So it's page 458, right? Page 458. So in your V text, and we're gonna finish Unit 8 with a little reading comprehension. Okay, Arshad? So Unit 8, you're going to come down here to todo junto. And it should be page 458. So let me know when you're there. Give me a thumbs up when you're there. Or if you can't find it.
Go Guardian block my view text. It won't let me open it.
Go Guardian won't let you open VHL in Canvas?
Yeah, so I'm trying to click on view text and it just keeps saying blocked by Go Guardian.
Does it think you already graduated?
Maybe.
I don't know. Hold on one second. Arshad, can you go open your VHL and VText? Help us out, Arshad. Maybe you need to log back in, Brooke. So you can't open it either, Arshad? Let's see, what does that say? It looks like you've reached a website your teacher doesn't want you to browse. That is insane. Okay. Brooke, let me see how let me just see how you did it. Can you go back? Start at the beginning. Let me look and Go Guardian. How did you get that? So when you click on launch, it takes you to, yeah, let's see from the beginning. Okay. Well, I don't have an answer.
Monday shenanigans.
Yeah, I don't have an answer. I don't know. All right, let's see if I can make it large enough. Probably not. Okay, if I do this, can you all see it? Can you see this? Brooke, Arshad?
Yes, ma'am, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. All right. So the first thing that we're going to try to do is we need to look at this yellow thing. Again, we're just practicing some reading comprehension, okay? And so obviously, what's our first thing we need to do? We like skim it and see what words we can recognize, right? So go ahead and take a look at it. Holler out maybe some words that you think you recognize or put them in the chat. What do you think, Arshad, Brooke? See any words there that you recognize? The yellow, the part in the yellow is what we're looking at. Anything we recognize? Okay, basura. Okay, Arshad, tell me what you recognize. La basura. What else? Okay. Teléfonos, right? Arshad, what do you recognize? You can holler it out or type it in the chat. Okay, electrónica. Yeah. All right, cámaras, cameras. Good. What else? Rashad, can you find some more? What is reciclaje? Reciclaje. Remember, we've been looking about what to keep and what to recycle, what to throw away and what to recycle. What is reciclaje? Rashad, do you remember reciclaje? Recycling. Okay, good. How about la ciudad? La ciudad. This word right here, la ciudad. Do we recognize it? Yeah, city. Muy bien. Okay. Arshad, what do you think días especiales could mean? Arshad? Días especiales. What do you think that could mean? Brooke, you got a guess? Días especiales. Arshad, join us. Come on. If we say buenos dias, what are we saying? What's a dias? A dia. Yes. Day. So especiales, what do you think? This is plural, actually, days. What does especiales look like or sound like? Yeah, or special, right? Something that's special. Okay, muy bien. So here we're talking about an announcement. Take a look, you guys. An announcement, un anuncia, right? So a citywide announcement, right, that has to do with recycling. So what do you think this is? What do you think this whole is supposed to be, like a poster or a flyer for what? What is the event, you guys? Can you figure it out based on what we know already? What do you think? We're talking about a citywide announcement, reciclaje, and a special day, días especiales. So what do you think is this thing is advertising? What is it advertising? Arshad, what do you think it's advertising? We've got a date, 7th through the 9th of March. We have times. What do you think? Brooke, you recognize the word basura. What is basura? Do you remember that? What it means? Trash. So, and Arshad recognized this word, electronica. So what kind of trash are we talking about? What kind of trash? Help me out, you guys. What kind of trash? It says reciclar la basura electrónica. What are they talking about? What is reciclar la basura electrónica? What kind of trash? Okay. So what is this ad for? What kind of event? What is the event? Okay, it's a recycling event, but what specifically? What are they recycling? What are they recycling, Arshad? Brooklyn, what do you think we're recycling? La basura electronica. What are we recycling? What's the event want us to recycle? Yes, old electronics. Okay, so we have the citywide announcement up here. La ciudad anuncia, right? It's announced. The city is announcing special days, días especiales para reciclar, to recycle la basura electrónica. So sometimes in our communities, right, we have days where we can recycle old monitors, televisions, phones, cameras, things like that, right? Because we don't want to put them in the trash. And so the dates here would be the 7th through the 9th of March from 10 to 8 p.m. So how? So now we got to figure out how. So we have this recycling event, and how is it that they want us to do it? So let's take a look. It says no lo botes, no lo botes. Remember our verb, you guys, botar. We had botar and reciclar. So if reciclar is to recycle, what was botar? Who remembers? Brooke, do you remember what botar means? It means, yes, to throw something away, right? To throw it away. So it's the opposite of recycling. Okay, so it says don't throw it away. Piensa en verde. Piensa en verde. What is verde? What color is that? What color is verde? Green. So they're like, don't throw it away. Think green. Okay, think green. Y llévalo a nuestro centro. So bring it, right? Llevar, bring it to our center. So they have this recycling center for electronics. Okay. She said, the announcement says plástico, metal. What is vidrio? Vidrio. What is vidrio? You remember, Brooke? What is vidrio? It's part of our vocab. Arshad, do you remember what is vidrio? Glass. Okay, so it says glass or plastic, metal, glass. How about this? Papel reciclable. What is that? Yes, recyclable paper. Durante estos 3 días, during these 3 days, right? Se puede. That was our last verb that we talked about, giving permission, right? Se puede, one can. That was the general, when we use that se. We had se puede and se pueden, right? So one can recycle your trash, electronical trash. Baterías. What's a batería? If we're thinking electronics, what's a batería? What's it look like in English? Batteries. So lithium batteries, right? Baterías de litio, lithium batteries. Cámaras, cameras, teléfonos, and other apparatus que ya no usas, that you no longer use, right? That you no longer use, okay? So then what do you think this is here? Dirección. Avenida Industrial número 738. What is avenida? Dirección. What is that? Well, this is from a recycling center, right? Yes, very good, Arshad. It's an avenue. So the dirección is the address. If it's a recycling center, we have to take our stuff there. So we need to know where it is, right? So this is the address. And it says, por un mundo mejor, for a better world, cada cosa en su contenedor. What's a contenedor? Remember, we had that in our vocab. What was a contenedor? Contenedor. What's a contenedor? Remember, we had recycling containers, we had trash containers. What's a contenedor? A container. Okay. So for a better world, let's put stuff like where it belongs, right? In the proper container, en su contenedor. Okay. So let's look at the questions now. It says, ¿Qué tipo de evento es? Can we answer in English? Or in Spanish, either way. ¿Qué tipo de evento es? What do you think the question's asking? ¿Qué tipo de evento es? What do you think it's asking, Brooke? What's an evento? What do you think an evento is? Arshad, what's an event? So what do you think the word tipo is? Tipo. Yeah, very good, Arshad. So what type of event is this, you guys? What type of event is this? What did we read? What did we read? What type of event is this? What's happening on March 7 through 9 at 10 from 10 to 8 p.m.? Yeah, reciclamos la basura electrónica, right? It's a recycling event for electronic stuff. Okay, bueno. All right, let's look at question 2. ¿Qué materiales aceptar en el centro para reciclar? So what do we think number 2 is asking? What are materiales? Yeah, so what materials does the Centro para reciclar? What is the Centro para reciclar? The recycling center, right? So, ¿qué materiales aceptar el Centro para reciclar? What is it asking? Number 2. Arshad, what is question 2 asking? Yeah. Yes. What materials does the recycling center accept, right? So based on what we read, we know that it was electronics, but what else does it accept, clase? Plástico, metal, vidrio, papel reciclable. What other things does it accept? You can tell me in English. What other things does it accept? Yeah. Batteries, cameras, phones, right? But also plástico. What is plástico? Metal, vidrio. What are those things again, right? It also takes metal, glass, recyclable paper. Okay, well, all right, last question. We're going to come down here to number 5. This is a harder one, harder question. It says, tiene un lema. A lema is a slogan. So is there a slogan here? And if so, what is it? ¿Cuál es? What's the slogan? I'm going to erase my scribble so maybe you can see better. What's the slogan? We're on 5. Can you guess? ¿Cuál es el lema? What is the slogan here? I see 2 possibilities, or 3, I guess. Depends on how we look at it. I see 2 or 3. What's the slogan, do you think? Can you find one, Arshad? You'll know what I mean by slogan, right? Like, yeah, very good, Brooke. So for a better world, por mundo mejor, cada cosa en su contenedor, right? So for a better world, let's put everything like where it belongs. So it's not like, we're not littering, okay? How about, is there another one? I see one more. What do you think? Arshad, can you find one? Un lema, a slogan. A theme, for lack of a better word. We got this one, but what else? We have this one, but I say there's one more at least. Can you parse it out there? The sentence and bold. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This one here. Yes, we can say that. Recycle your electronics. Okay. How about this one? Piensa en verde. Remember, verde was green. So what are they telling us to do? Piensa. Piensa en verde. What are they telling us to do? Think green. Absolutely. Think green. Okay. So I see that as a lema as well. Okay. All right. Muy bien. So do you guys recycle ever? You guys ever recycle? Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Well, it's kind of expensive, unfortunately, at least around here. So that's not a good thing, right? Yeah. Okay. Muy bien. All right. The last thing I would like us to do is I would like for you guys, you two of you, Arshad, to compete. We're going to compete. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. So Arshad, you got to play, you're the only other person here. So you're going to have to, I cannot find the music. Okay, click on it. Guys, I do not see this lets us. There we go. All right, your best. Arshad, you got to do this because she doesn't have anybody to compete against if you don't. Yay, Brooke. Okay, one more time. Let's do this again. All right, come on, Arshad, you got this. Ready? One more time. Here we go. All right. All right. Muy bien. Good job, Arshad. Okay. All right, you guys, go ahead and back out of that. And I need you to, por favor, meet me in Canvas. Meet me in Canvas, please. And go to modules. And when you get there, go ahead and refresh your screen, please. Go ahead and refresh. Yeah. Did it come up yet, Brooke? There you go. Okay, scroll down again. Arshad. Go ahead and refresh your screen, Arshad, please. All right, so when you get there, I need you to find after you've refreshed, scroll down below Unit 8, you are going to see something called the imperfect past tense versus the preterite past tense. Okay, and this is the one that's pretty important, which is why I kind of threw it in, that you never know in life, okay? Like I say, if you have to take an elective class for something, you kind of need to have seen this, okay? So give me a thumbs up when you're good. And I'm going to try to sum it up for you. We'll look at it again on Wednesday, but I'm going to try and sum it up for you just a little bit because we got to do this for Jomarian and Marlasia as well, right? So there's more than one kind of past tense to talk about past actions, right? Just like there's more than one kind of future, there's more than one kind of present. Like we learned, you know, I talk to my friends, you know, hablo con mis amigos, right? Like generally speaking, I talk to my friends. That's a present tense. But we also learned estoy hablando con mis amigos, right? I am talking to my friends like right now as it's in progress, right? That present progressive, it's in progress. It's something I'm doing right now, not just generally speaking, hablo con mis amigos, okay? So there's more than one kind of all of these things. So this is no different. This is just another kind of past tense. So what is the difference? What's the difference? Okay, so let's take a look at this together. Now this is kind of hard because we're not native speakers, right? So this is really like a matter of practice, okay? So first of all, let's look at this on the right-hand side here. If y'all can see my screen or if you have it pulled up, go ahead and click on the visual guide if it's easier for you to see it, in front of you. And I want us to look at this first, okay? So why is this the imperfect past tense, right? So the question is, when do we use the preterite past tense that we've been practicing? Estuve, tuve, hablaste, hice, fui, fuiste. Those were all preterite tenses, right? So, and they're past tense. So when do we use that versus when do we use these? Okay. Well, the the preterite, the one that we've been learning for past tense, are for past actions, you guys, that have a clear beginning and end. Okay. The imperfect is for things that were like repeated in the past, things that are habits in the past, things that happen over a long period of time. So think about this. So like when we do stories, like, oh, once upon a time, the princess lived in the castle. Okay, so the idea is that for a long period of time, right, this was happening. She lived in the castle for a long period of time, right? So that's when we would use the imperfect. Okay, so let's get a little more specific. We would use the imperfect if we tell time. Well, I think it was, 5 o'clock when the mailman came. Okay, I think it was 5 o'clock. So we're talking about past. Okay. If we talk about how old somebody was, well, in the year 2000, Bobby was, 15 years old, because he was 15 years old that whole year. Are y'all following me? Yes. I need you to give me a thumbs up. Okay. I'm trying to simplify as best we can. When we have actions that are happening all at the same time. So for example, Susie washed the dishes and I dried the dishes. Okay. So again, things that happened over a period of time, and they're happening together, or I should say they happened, because it's past tense. They happened together at the same time, right? The dog was barking while the squirrel ran up the tree. Okay, so past actions that happen at the same time. Okay. Another event when we use the imperfect is when we're talking about habits. Habits. Oh, I always used to play tennis. I always used to go for walks in the morning, and then I got out of the habit. I always used to read before I went to bed at night, right? So habits in the past. Okay. And then, this is the most common one, describing the past, right? Oh, last year, I had short hair. The city used to be much smaller. Now it's too crowded. Okay. When you're describing things in the past, Billy Bob used to be very athletic, and he's not anymore or whatever. So describing things in the past. Okay. So telling time in the past, giving somebody's age in the past, actions that that happened at the same time, old habits, okay, and describing things in the past. All right. So not difficult, obviously, to understand, but maybe difficult to remember. Okay. In the preterite tense, we use that for single past events or a specific moment in time that happened quickly, right? You guys, that happened quickly. We use it past tense when we have a list of sequenced actions. First, you turn on your computer. Secondly, you timed in. Third, you access Canvas, right? Because those are all events, stopped and started, and they happened boom, 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 one right after the other. We use them for actions that interrupt what is going on, right? I was talking and Billy started crying. Okay. So Billy starting crying interrupted my talking or whatever. Okay. Also, remember the senses that we learned at the first of the year, right? Oír, listening, saborear, tasting, sentir, feeling, right? Tocar, touching, all of those things that have to do with the senses. Okay. If we do them in the past, I heard, I tasted, I felt. Okay. We're going to use the preterite for those. Okay. Now, just know you have access to this, right? What I need for you to do now is go ahead and click next. Go ahead and click next, and let's make sure this opens up. See if you have this. Yes? Give me a thumbs up if it opens for you. All right. Arshad, what happens if you click on annotate? Does it open? Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Okay, I'm waiting on my computer, so my apologies. So what we need to do, let's take a look at what our guided notes have in them. So you're going to have to, unfortunately, you guys are going to have to is it going to let you type in? You have to put your text box over the word, or if you do it in Cami, I'm not sure what Cami is going to look like for you. So let me know when you think you're ready to type. Okay. And first of all, what we're going to do is we're just going to fill in what are those endings, right? So in other words, nothing's changed. Let's pretend our verb was hablar, because we're going to start with an AR verb, right? So let's pretend it was hablar. We would get rid of the AR and have our root and our stem, and then we would add our endings, right? So let's see what our endings are going to be for imperfect AR verbs and then ER and IR verbs, okay? And then after that, we'll see how far we get for the rest of the day. Okay? All right, so give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Let me know when you're ready to type. So thumbs up, Brooke. Yeah. Thank you, Arshad. Okay. So these are not the words, let's remember. What you're seeing on my screen are the endings. Okay. So if I wanted to do, for example, hablar, to talk, right? Or speak, whatever. And so remember that this is a past tense, right? I talked to my friend for 3 hours last week, or whatever. Okay. Something to do in the past. Okay. So if I wanted to say I talked to or I spoke with, whatever, however you want to translate it, it would be like hablar. We'd get rid of the AR and we would add aba. Yo hablaba. Okay. A repeated past action. I spoke with my friend every day for a year. I don't know, whatever, right? Yo hablaba. Tú hablabas. Él y usted hablaba. Nosotros hablábamos. Ellos, ellas, ustedes hablaban. Okay, so if you want to use the verb like in the box, that's fine too. Hablabas. Él hablaba. Nosotros hablábamos. That's a long one, right? Hablábamos. And then ellos, ellas, and ustedes hablaban. Okay. Questions there? Okay, let me know when you're ready for the next slide. Yeah, okay. Well, because then I have to erase my stuff, right? Okay, so now we have ER and IR verbs, and we're talking about a regular ER and IR verb, right? So let's do escribir was to write. Okay. So if I'm doing this in the past over a long period of time, I wrote articles for my school newspaper. Yeah, I used to. Something I did more than once repeatedly. I used to write articles for my school newspaper, right? So I would take escribir. I would get rid of the IR. And I would do ia. Now I can't do accents here, you guys. So you got to have your accent. So yo escribía. I used to write. Yeah, I used to write for the school newspaper, for example. Okay. Repeated past action. Tú, right? Again, escribir, we get rid of the IR. Tú escribías. You used to write for the school newspaper. He used to write for the school newspaper. Él escribía. Again, I can't put accents in here, but you got to have them because it changes pronunciation. Okay, again, if it's nosotros, escribíamos. Escribíamos. We used to write for the school newspaper, right? Nosotros escribíamos. Escribíamos, actually, my bad. Escribíamos. And then ellos No, got my S. Escribían. Yo escribía, tú escribías, él escribía, nosotros escribíamos, ellos escribían. Okay? That accent makes a difference. Escribíamos. Something I used to write, for example. Okay, so these are, thankfully, ER and IR verbs have the same ending. Okay, so give me a thumbs up when you have these. All good here? Yay or nay? Yes? Because I need to know so I can stop sharing for just a second. Did you get these filled in, Brooke? So we've only done the AR and the ER and the IR, right? Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pop a thing in the chat for you real quick. Let's see if it'll, fingers crossed, if it works. I don't know. It might be blocked for you. I'm hoping not. Okay, give me 1 sec. Okay, go ahead and click on this link. Okay, fingers crossed, you guys, it's not blocked. I had asked for it to be unblocked, but I don't know if it happened. Okay, all right, good. I would like for you guys to bookmark this. Can you bookmark this on your Chromebook or put it on your home screen or whatever is gonna remind you? Okay. All right. So we have all of the things that we've already talked about, but I just want to make sure that you have that open so that you can see it there. Okay. And have that as a resource. Okay, give me 1 more second. I have one more other thing I need to open. And I don't know if we'll be able to get it done or not today. Yeah. I'm waiting, sorry. Come on. Okay, here it is. All right, let's just try to get as much done of this today as we can. So make sure that y'all can hear. Make sure you have that website bookmarked or put on your thing. Make sure that you have your endings open in front of you in your guided notes, and do not like submit that guided note just yet, because obviously we're going to add to it. Okay. But for the rest of the hour today, let's see how much of this we can get through.
Regular verbs which will have their own video.
Okay, here we go.
video lesson. Any other verb that is er, ir will follow the pattern covered in this video. We'll take a verb first like comer, to eat. In the imperfect we have yo comía, tú comías, él comía, ella comía, usted comía, nosotros comíamos, nosotras comíamos, ellos comían, ellas comían, ustedes comían.
All right. So for the yo form, we're going to just skip some of these, right? Let's just listen to his.
Remember that the imperfect is another past tense. Although these can mean I ate, you ate, he ate, she ate, we ate, and they ate, the imperfect is also used for used to eat or was eating, were eating.
Okay. Which translation is not correct for the verb volvíamos? So volver is the verb to return. So what I would like to know from you, how would you translate if volver is to return and it's an imperfect, is it A, B, C, or D? Okay. Brooklyn, Arshad, what's your choice? How do we say if volver is to return, how would we translate it in this imperfect? Remember, we're talking about habitual past actions. Would it be A, B, C, or D? What do you think, Arshad? Okay, so I have two different answers. Okay, so I'm just going to pick one of your answers, right? And I'm just going to pick C, and let's see if we're right. Okay. Okay. Yes. So we return, right? We return is something that we used to do over a long period of time. Like, okay, because it's not a, yeah. Well, let's keep going and you'll see. It'll make more sense.
Also, just like with the AR verbs, the yo form is the same as the él, ella, usted form. So we'll usually leave the subject in the sentence in the imperfect form. How about another ER verb? Tener, to have. Yo tenía, tú tenías, él tenía, ella tenía, usted tenía, nosotros teníamos.
Okay. So we used to have, is it A, B, or C? This is better in Spanish. Is it A, B, or C? We used to have. What do you think, Arshad? A, B, or C? Okay. Arshad, what's your guess? A, B, or C? We used to have. All right, muy bien. So you guys are both telling me B, so let's see if you're right. Nosotros teníamos. Yay, you're right. Okay. So given our time on the clock, we only have a couple minutes left. We'll pick this up again Wednesday. Again, don't turn your guided notes in a way that's going to make you have to restart again. And then we'll just kind of inch our way through that. Okay, you guys? All right, preguntas, any questions? Okay, well, like again, we will work our way through this as well on Wednesday. In the meantime, if you have any VHL stuff that you still need to work on, or anything like that, you probably ought to make sure that you get all that completed, okay? And I think everything else is pretty much caught up, right? For you two, I'm pretty sure. Okay. All right. Any questions about past tense? So you know what we did today? You know what we did today, Brooklyn, Arshad? Do you know what we did today? Yes, we finished Unidad Ocho. We finished the textbook today. Aren't you thrilled? I am. That's wonderful. Okay, pat yourselves on the back. Guacala, right? That's what I had in my background. Guacala. All right, you guys, finish up, save your stuff, and nos vemos miércoles. I'll see you on Wednesday. Okay. All right. Adios. Adios. Felicitaciones. Congratulations. I'm finishing the textbook. All right. Adios.